Hello YouTube. So today we take this rusty old potbelly stove and turn it into a painted potbelly stove. Okay guys, so today I'm just going to restore this potbelly stove. Bought this thing a couple of years ago and I think I paid $100 for it. She's pretty tiny, but I'm just going to give her a restore with some new Potbelly Black and see how she looks. So at this point it was going to be a quick restoration, which it was. I didn't go too deep into it, I didn't pull the thing completely apart, but I just got the old drill. That drill, by the way, I bought in England over 20 years ago. Still going. Black & Decker. No link in the description. All I'm using here is just those brass wire wheels. I could probably be a plumber about now with the amount of plumber's cleavage I'm showing, but I just went over the whole thing with the wire wheel. Right about now I decided that I would take the legs off and just do it a little bit better. There's a bottom plate there, bit of RP7, bottom plate that comes off, and you get into the bottom tray where the ash drops. So all that was looking a bit pitted and a bit rough, so I decided to go a little bit further. You can split this thing into about 3 pieces. The different, there's about 3 different separate casts with a bunch of screws. I decided not to. Just thought I'd keep it relatively simple. There was a bit of rust inside, but once I get a few fires going, that should clean that up a little bit. But I was mainly just concerned with the outside. Again, really all I did was just go through with that wire wheel and clean everything up. Probably should have had a face mask on, but definitely with the glasses. Not a job for somebody that doesn't want to get dirty, because there was crap everywhere. Right here I grabbed the flap disc out. There was a lot of pitting in the cast. I'm sure there are a lot of cast marks anyway for when the thing was manufactured. I thought I'd try and just smooth it out because the rust was a bit deep in places. It really just smoothed it out a bit. So next on the canned instructions was to wipe everything down with mineral turpentine, or good old terps. So I just grabbed a rag, just took every bit that I'd sort of scrubbed down, and tried to get all the dust and rust off it. You might notice in the shed there that we've got a bit of a disco going on. I think that's just the between the frame rate of the GoPro and the LED high bay lights. Alright, so this is where we get to the satisfying part. We'll skip through the little bits and pieces, and then we'll get onto the main body. This can be sprayed on. Just a note, this is, I think it's White Knight from Bunnings. This can be sprayed on or brushed on. It's not as self-leveling as I probably would have liked. You're going to get a much better finish, I'd say, with if you sprayed it on. But then you've got to go through all the drama of spraying it on. And at the end of the day, it's a potbelly stove, so it's going to get a little bit dinged around, chucking the wood in, and your billy on top. As I said, could have pulled it apart a little bit more by taking the door off and that type of thing, but why make it hard for myself? I'm only putting this together for the front shed, so I can get a bit of warmth in there. Coming into winter at the moment. This should pump out enough heat to heat those, heat the front shed, which isn't, you know, ridiculously huge. This be, I'd be guessing this would be way too small for the shed that's in the shot here. Front shed be fine. Alright, so as per instructions on the tin, we've descaled, we've cleaned with terps, we've painted. Now, for time for the second coat, they do recommend 2 coats. They recommend a light sand in between coats. As you can see there, on the first coat, I didn't get up under the edge. Probably should have done that, but I did wire wheel up under there. So I figured, you know, 1 coat, sort of 1.5. I'd touch it up at the end as well. Would be fine under there. You have to really get on the ground to see what's going under there anyway. Just finishing off all the bits and pieces, and then we'll get into the good stuff. So here we are on the final coat. It's the satisfying part, and yeah, not much to say. Just tried to keep it as smooth as possible. Obviously, it's going to dry with all the brush marks in if you don't get it on smooth. Probably here is I try to get into all the nooks and crannies here, up under the edge. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to put a sort of a medium wet coat on, so you know, not a light coat, not a super heavy coat that will just drip, but sort of medium, sort of seem to level out. You know, you got good coverage, you weren't scrubbing the paint on. All in all, though, it covered quite well. Yeah, I'm just getting to all the legs and the plates and bits and pieces. Might not show up in this in the video, but Potbelly Black isn't. You know, I always thought it was a really dark black, but it's almost got a bit of a brown tinge to it. So what I'm doing here is going through with the bolts that attach the legs and just sort of giving them a paint. Probably should have left a little bit of time between painting them and putting them together, but I was a bit impatient. Just assembling the draft door here, and then painting the screws and the bolts, and fitting that bottom plate on and putting the legs on. Now I'll skip through the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody wants to see that. And then it was as I was tightening these up that I realised the top leg closest to us is the bolt was stripped, so I've got to replace that bolt. Almost spilled the paint. The rest of the paint there. Move that. She's up on her legs, so just needed to finish off the top. Not sure. I probably don't need to put another coat on. This is just the second coat, but because it was at the end of the bench, I couldn't get to it when I did the rest of it. Just filling in the screws with a bit of Potbelly Black. Hopefully slow down the rusting process. Draft door, main door, everything works. Happy days. This, guys, is the finished product. The paint's still a bit wet on the top there, that's why it's a bit shinier. But please hit the like button down below and check out the Instagram when I get this thing cooking. See ya.